fathers of the Ariens Company. He was Mike Ariens' father, and then Dan's uncle, so it goes on. It's a family business.
Right.
It still is a family business.
Okay.
Okay. So it's your lucky day because this is, well, this year is my 40th year with the company.
Oh, goodness.
So I started in welding, machine shop, heat treat, and worked my way all the way through. Now I'm the Midwest service manager and also help with the training side.
Awesome.
Awesome. Good for you.
Got a little background,
Been here for a little while, huh?
just a little while.
Hello, I'm Steve Ariens. In just a moment, we're going to show you why we think Ariens Company is something special. You see, we've been in the manufacturing business here in Brillion for 75 years. Over that span of time, we've made everything from a dog-powered cream separator drive to our latest product, our Ariens 303 snowmobile. Today, we honestly believe no manufacturer tops the quality we put into our products. Let us show you why.
Right now, in these quiet hours when this plant is silent, it's almost like any other manufacturing complex anywhere around the nation. But come another workday, tomorrow morning, and the difference begins. Beginning in 1893 with the manufacturing of power plants for threshing machines and cream separators, the name Ariens has been associated with inventiveness and quality here in the small Wisconsin town, throughout the upper Midwest, and now throughout the United States, Canada, Europe, and Australia. And today, that inventiveness and quality are manifested in the finest lawn care, garden, and snow removal equipment on the American market. Next time you're up this way, where the fishing's good and the football's great, stop it and watch another winning team in action in this industrial stadium, where they spell quality A-R-I-E-N-S. Ariens.
Company. Sure. They make farm equipment, crushers, and everything with the iron works down here. And a lot of the crushers use that style of wheel, and there's a lot of them still out there that still use that wheel for crushing. In this area here with the black dirt and red clay, it clouds in the summertime or spring, it turns to a wet. So that's what they actually use all the way. And he was a little bit ahead of his time. A train separator made by a power by a dog, you put him in there and he would run, and the whole thing would turn.
Powered by a dog?
Train separator, so you actually put the farm animals inside. Otherwise, the train separator was hand cranked and that did the separating of the milk from the cream. That's when you had a lot of kids on the farm and one had things.
Oh, you had
Back then, that was later.
Yeah, right.
They made that at the foundry. They had their own horsehair toys they cast. They had a plow they made. They also had an engine. They actually started by making a tractor too. But that pretty much died off by the time. Very cheap, but you got to consider what your pay was at that period of time. So Yeah, it's cheap now, but not so cheap back then. But then again, they also had tooling that basically was the first water farmers didn't use. You know, the other side of the wall was the chicken.
Okay.
I didn't want to take care of chickens.
No.
Well, why not?
I grew up on a farm. No. So the idea of France is the whole Ariens clan were a lot into sports, hunting, fishing,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff. So you see a lot of things like that.
Oh, yeah,
scattered
right.
here. This is the Model A tiller. This is their first tiller. A lot of them on the Palestine. They did ship a lot around the States here. A lot of the tillers that they produced actually went to greenhouses because they were growing crops year round. They broke up the ground and took care of the parasites that they would have. The toolbox over here is Francis Ariens' toolbox. He gave that to me when he retired.
Really?
That wood toolbox. And it's a nice machinist box. I didn't feel right having it, so I gave it back.
Gave it to the museum?
Yeah. The only thing that's strange that was in there is the tooth.
So that was in there, huh?
That was in the toolbox. So I don't know whose it is, but we left it in place.
Interesting.
But I kept some of the tools, but most of them are here. There's some here. There's some on a wall out there. You know, so this is what he actually had, the planes and all that. He gave me the machinist tools when he basically hung it up and says, "Here, take this."
Yeah.
And you don't insult the person by saying, "No, no, you don't."
Right.
But you do when you find a place to give it back to the company.
Yeah.
It does wonders from that standpoint.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The bench came from the foundry.
Okay.
That was one of the benches down there. So that's where they would work off of. The model makers would work on that type of bench, making molds and patterns.
Sure. Very cool.
This is supposed to show a reproduction, rebuild of a unit. The only reason this was on here, we had a guy bring it from plant 1 to plant 2. He didn't strap it down on the trailer. So the trailer made the turn, it went straight and then bounced down the road a little bit. So that's why it's here. Otherwise, it was completely redone. So.
Yeah, it looks a little banged up there, huh?
Mm-hmm. But then again, in the real world, that's how they were banged up.
Yeah,
I picked up a lot of the tillers we have out there from people in the area, and they actually ran. We drove them on the trailer, strapped them down.
Really?
It got to the point where they were 80 years old and they just couldn't handle that big piece of equipment anymore. So they gave it back to the company and they bought it.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Has a swing handlebar on it. So what you can do is you can actually tilt and then swing it from side to side.
Oh, wow.
The ideal there was when you were tilling, you never walked in the finished soil because when you did that, you press it down, the weed comes back up again.
Right.
If you leave the air in there, the weeds die. And that's really what's going on. So a lot of them, one-hand operation, they're well balanced, a lot of mass there. And
So you walk on the side of it.
you walk on the side of it and you just guide it. It does.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Because if you look at that, you got half of a tractor there. You got the engine and the transmission.
Yeah.
So you're almost there with a tractor.
Right, yeah, you just let the machine do the work.
That's the whole idea. You let
Okay.
the machine do the work. You're just there to send it the way it's supposed to go. And they put it on there because the iron wheel, first product was Model A, Model B, Model C, so they use the ultimate as a model. So raised bed and greenhouses, steam pipes below warms the ground. So you can actually see the tilling and you can watch him walk next to it. He's not walking behind in the freshly tilled soil.
Oh, sure.
Off to the side.
How do they get it up there on those beds?
Ramps,
Okay.
just watch. They'll be taking it down here shortly. But they did have a parasite in the greenhouses, and the tiller actually killed the parasite because it was able to drag that dirt up so well.
Really?
Yeah. So there he's up on, there you gutted it just for a display. And that's actually how it would be on the machine. And the wheels would drive where forward behind it. So that was the commercial side of it. They actually had a homeowner version of the same thing.
Okay.
Dillers is basically an Advent snowblower is where we started out. So if you had a lot of a big garden or a lot of garden, that's what you have.
Right.
There is a newer version of a tiller that are around the corner. We'll get to them a little bit later. Back in the 50s and the 60s, they were referred to as jets and rockets.
Okay.
Front and rear
$208.
Snow equipment, carrier is a little bit ahead of its time. They're playing with snow blower. The only drawback to the snow blowers that they first came out with, they only blew in one direction. Once you got that taken care of, here again, you're looking at that machine there.
Yeah, you think it's tough to move now, right?
This is how actually the big ones.
Big farm blowers are like that. Big industrial cities. But yeah, the gearbox is a 10 to 1. The fan always runs at 1,000 RPMs. So your rakes are only at 100 RPM. So it's very slow engaging of the snow into the unit. So based on how much snow you had, you would pick your appropriate speed. If you're pushing snow with the snow blower, you're going too fast.
Right.
It's got to digest it.
Yeah.
And the opening on the top of the snow head in here, that was the same on all of them. So that is a constant going out for blowing snow.
Sure.
I used to have a 1336, 36 inches wide, 13 horsepower.
Yeah.
But I got rid of it because my walking pace was so slow. I think it was the same amount of work. This is more for you to image, give you, you're going to have 50 feet of discharge.
Oh, wow.
But she's running right and you've got the perfect condition.
Yeah, perfect everything.
But we actually have a
Wow.
life-size snow globe, if you want to get your picture taken in it. The only thing is, a little static electricity, you get that on your clothes, it's staying with you the rest of the day. We'll know where you've been throughout the building.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well,
But we have a lot of kids that come in here, they love to go in there.
Oh, I bet.
Blowing snow around, they get the pictures taken.
Get in there, Dad. Come on, man.
Yeah, there you go. We'll put you up, we'll go live.
But yeah, Andy said he bought a snow globe, we weren't thinking it was that type of snow globe. It does a lot for everybody. And then you talk about the different types of gearboxes that we have, the early vintage, the keyless one. It's a gear like a differential gear. It's on the outside. Then you have the worm, and they're all 10 to 1 ratios.
10 to 1. Okay.
A little plane here on speed, rotation of it. What it's comparable to is on a guitar string.
Oh.
And then this one here just actually shows you the drive system. Drive plate, you engage the friction wheel into it, makes the wheel turn. If you wanted to, you can change the speed by moving this back and forth across there. It needs to get greased. It's jammed on here right now. But the ideal is if you move it to the other side, then you get reverse speed on it. A lot of people don't know how that actually works. That was one of my training aids.
It's-
early
yeah.
on. Then you get into bravely. As a Studebaker engine. And when you get calls from customers out there and they don't know exactly what they have, I always refer to, okay, does it look like a flathead Harley, single cylinder? And everybody knows what that looks like. Well, yeah.
There
Okay,
is.
You have a Model L. Now, let's narrow it down to what year do you have? Because that Model L track engine, you have a 4.5, a 5.5, a 6.5, and a 7.5 horsepower. The engine was the same. They played with the carburation to get the horsepower.
Really?
That's the only thing that changed on those engines, was the carburetor.
Wow.
So you had the walking tractor for cultivators, the two-wheel tractor, you had reel mowers, rotary mowers, snow head, that's a real claw catcher, rotary plows, cultivators, and then if you really want to see the inside of an engine and drivetrain, that's where this comes into play. Because there were no belts, it was all rear drive all the way through. Matter of clutches here and there. This one, they put a cover on it because a lot of the old guys that come to school here realize that the magneto still fires. They have a young kid, hey, put your finger over here. Kind of line them up a little bit. But again, a lot of this stuff was before OSHA got into play too, because you had a chainsaw you could put on the front of it, a buzzsaw you could put on the front of it. Orchard sprayers, because back then, everybody had an orchard that had property, and apple trees and pear trees and that. So that's where the sprayers come in.
Wow.
They turn a two-wheel tractor into a backhoe.
Backhoe.
It beats the shovel. The pieces that were yellow were made for the post office. They had the requirement a certain color for what they bought.
Really?
Yeah. So if you have a dozer blade and a yellow tractor, you know somewhere along the line you started at a post office.
That's crazy. Okay.
This is back when Studebaker also owned the company. This is a two-wheel tractor, just like that one there, but they put a steering sulky on the back, so when you turn the steering wheels, you're actually turning the wheels back on the back side.
Oh, okay.
Two-wheel tractor and a mower deck in front, so you get to sit on it.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, that's what you like, right? Yeah.
And the graphics on the wall here are throughout the years of the Brillion Company in the plant. So you see progression of how it was built, how they ran things. A lot of them, you can see the belt drives from the ceiling running the machines downward. Back in the far corner down there, you can see the pot-belly stove that heated the back of the plant.
Wow. Right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome to see.
And then you talk, we worked a lot with the high schools here. This is one when I was working with them. They always made a high mileage car and then something else. And when they would come in here and we sit down and talk to them, the first question you always ask, how fast do you want to go? Because you know that's what's on their mind. They want speed out of it. And there was a time when we actually had a product called the Trekker, like a utility vehicle. And we put a high mileage car together with those parts.
Oh, yeah?
We got kicked off of Road America. We were going too fast. The road track down there.
Going too fast.
We were going too fast. We really didn't care too much about mileage, but we were having a
Right?
good time. But they also had an engine. They bought this and built this. Side panels were a snow head.
Oh,
The brakes
okay.
are the back side. Discharge chute on the front end.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it was made out of a lot of Ariens components.
Yeah, that's cool.
My opinion, they put it on the platter wrong, or they painted the wall wrong, because you really don't want to sit across the road.
No, no.
and get your picture taken. You really want to be on the road
yeah.
as you're going somewhere.
Right?
But I gotta, what do I know?
Put this wall back there. That's all you gotta do. Put this wall back there.
We do own bought a lot of other companies, Contax, that's an English company that we own. Binorm, that's also over there. That's where we build a lot of our current products in their country. This is the speed record.
Oh.
So
That's a lawnmower.
that's a lawnmower
Yeah.
that goes fast. Doesn't cut a lot of grass, but it
Yeah.
does go fast. So they had a speed record. They actually had it for a short period of time. Kind of like Tim Allen, more power.
Right?
And then we also bought Locke, was down in Alabama. We bought a company called National, that was out of Minneapolis. That's where they had real mowers. And this one actually was in the Great Gatsby.
Really?
That's the guy cutting with that machine.
Oh, cool.
Living room, it gives you the 60s look.
Yeah, definitely.
This is fun.
Grill, the patio set,
It is. Heck yeah.
the style of the house, the windows.
Furniture, yeah.
1960s. And back then too, we also had a product called the Yard.
The Yardster.
So you actually had another product that had a mower deck, had a tiller, had a sprayer, and one power source to run it all.
Only 166.50.
Yeah. Try to find one like that.
Power sprayer.
Yeah.
Nice.
5 gallons.
Wow.
The walk behind is where we started going into more of the consumer products, the Peacemaker.
The Peacemaker.
We have a lot of commercials, but we cannot show them because they are not politically correct at all.
Where do we see those then?
They won't show them anymore. So,
We want that tour, Dan. We want that tour.
yeah. There's fairway mowers, 2 different versions, the early version, later version.
Okay.
The Emperor mower is kind of copies of the Snapper. They look about the same.
Yeah.
So you got the 925 series there, converted into this one here. During the years of how we progressed as a company, it was a 2-piece frame, and the one that replaced it was a 1-piece frame. So as our presses got bigger, our processes got better, it became more efficient to build.
For sure.
Our first zero turn, an EZR. The Gravely zero turns, 94, when that one came about. That was really a true walk-behind unit. What they did is they took the handlebars off the backside, put a seat over top of the deck, and a running board. You actually sat on the machine. It was the same wheelbase, the same power unit.
Okay.
Just a different way of driving.
Right.
And that went into the ProMaster series on the Gravely side, the newer commercial side. A hell of a place to put those handles.
Yeah, right?
It was a rough riding little sucker too, but it did a wonderful job.
It was like the Walker ones
Yeah.
nowadays with just their tiny little things and you can just use your fingers.
Yeah. All they did is they took a 2-wheel tractor, put wheels out on the front of it and turned it into a ride-on unit instead of a
Right.
walk behind. But the transmission, engine, everything's in the back end. It's a 2-wheel tractor. Comes down to the parts.
Right.
And then from the 400 series, we converse up to the 800 series, and then the 8000 series after that. So those are basically the same tractor, style and design.
Okay.
Through the generations, you can see how the machine is.
Right.
And then, like in that one picture in there with the tractor with the snow head on,
Uh-huh.
that's the snow head.
Okay.
That snow head, the internal guts, is the same snow head over there. So that was on the Gravely side. All we just changed the housing a little bit to mount to that tractor.
Oh, okay.
And that one, same guts, same fan, same gearbox, mounts to the GT tractor. And this is that New Holland tractor that we bought.
Oh, okay.
And we could put different attachments on it and turn it into a loader and that. I've used it. It used to shovel hands down. No, it's a beautiful thing. After you dig the hole, you got the loader, you can fill it back in.
Yeah.
So it does a wonderful job on that
I
staff.
need to use like one of these so I can put a egress window in my basement.
They got a whole lot easier.
Pretty good. Yeah,
And then the tractor here is the same tractor you have over there, except that they went from a opposing twin to a V-twin. So the
Okay.
frame changed a little bit, different style of hood, but everything underneath there, drive-wise, is still the
All the
same.
same.
And there you could put a tiller on the back, you got a vacuum, you got the decks, you got the blower in the front. So you can have multiple uses for one power source.
Right. I sense a theme.
So you got the GT, HT, YT, that was our naming configuration.
Okay.
So we had more of a yard tractor, that was supposed to be like an estate tractor in between the garden.
The garden, yeah.
Then they go older. This one actually came with the acquisition of the GT tractor.
Well,
They were trying to get out of the tractor lawn business, and we were picking up on it, so
right.
it worked great for us.
Sold.
It's the same drive system that's in the tractors on the other end. All they did is put the deck out front and the steering wheel in the back.
Okay.
We saddled it down. ProMaster 400. Here again, the Sunstrand transmission, but this one used the Peerless rear end, and it was powered by either a Kubota or a Yamaha or diesel. There are other companies out there that actually made cabs for it and also snow days.
Oh, okay.
A little snow with that.
Yeah, I think I've seen those around.
Toro has a version of it also.
That's, yeah, I've probably seen those ones, or,
Yeah, it's
yeah, okay.
And then we also had the ProMaster 300. Again, for fun of it, we had one of our guys take a machine and explode it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you can actually see how the layers all go together.
Yeah.
And what's inside.
You get the battery in there.
Right out there in the open for you to see.